Mr. Adrian Calmel still with us. Mr. Calmel, this is a big statement by the American president where he has now confirmed effectively that Ayatollah Ali Khamenei is dead, and he's also said that there is immunity for those who want to work with the Americans, but this immunity isn't going to be around for a lot of time. In your assessment, how do you think the American president is now trying to play this? Is he now looking for people to defect from the Islamic regime and join? We do not know what structure the Americans have in place inside of Iran at this moment. What do you think is happening here?
Yeah, great question. I think this is really directed at the foot soldiers and the middle tier individuals in the IRGC who have seen their bosses get extremely rich off the backs of the Iranian economy. They don't go out in the streets, but they tell them to go out and repress their own population. So he's looking at, to expand those cracks within that apparatus by making these statements, and for them to finally come over and join the people in the streets that have been protesting against the regime. What he's concerned about is a de-Baathification process, the kind of thing that we did with in Iraq, where every single person is considered a bad guy if they're a member of the Ba'ath Party. Mm-hmm. And so we're going to get rid of the whole thing, and that's going to leave no one to run the communications, the petrochemical industry, the rebuilding of Iran. So there's a lot of talented people there. There's also the Artesh, which is the standing army, and could that encourage defections from the Artesh as well, because they are basically looking of the IRGC.
The minute you said that probably the Iraq model, a lot of ears will go up and say that there are few things that were as botched as the American invasion of Iraq and the disbanding of the Ba'ath Party and the Ba'ath Army, which resulted in the rise of the ISIS in the region. A lot of the foot soldiers of the ISIS were in fact said to be formerly members of the Ba'ath Party. Does the United States of America have a plan on what it intends to do after this regime is taken down?
Well, yeah, I believe they do. I believe that, these are a lot of the things that we cannot see, the things that have been going on the ground. The groups that have been rising up in opposition have been protesting really since December of 2017. And then you have figures that are well respected within the diaspora. Right. I think the goal, when I talk to everybody in the diaspora, is we want to come back and have a democratic, election. They have a history of statehood, Iran, going back, 2,500 years or more. Let's restore it. Let's bring it back to where it was. Let's bring in a civilian leadership, not a military leadership, and restore Iran to its greatness.
Right. There are few nations in the world that have the kind of history, culture, and things to look back upon like the Iranian people do. Susan, if I can bring you in on this. Now, what are you picking up on the ground about how people in Iran may react? Can we expect to see protests against the war that's now being fought against the Americans? And will people now rally demanding for an end to the war so that the bloodletting can in fact stop?
Well, I highly doubt that, considering the fact that the Iranians came out in troves after President Trump announced that help is on the way. I mean, that was a very significant moment for where Iran stands right now. The majority of the Iranian people, if they have the will of their own, will go to the street and protest the Islamic Republic. They won't protest American involvement. Like I said, Iranians went to the street. They got killed by the tens of thousands, hoping that if they take to the streets, then they realize that they can't topple this regime without outside help. Now, it depends how long this is going to last. And I mentioned earlier, you see these rally around the flag demonstrations. This is from my personal and my own experience living in Iran. If you are an employee of the government, you're required by the regime to take part in these protests, or either you're going to lose your job or something worse.
Right.
So while some people might come themselves to protest and to support the Islamic Republic, I'm not saying those people don't exist, but the majority of them are bused to come and hold the Islamic Republic flag. And I really highly doubt that that's going to happen, at least in the near future. Now, the story may be different if, this is a prolonged war and it goes into months or years. That's very different. But it doesn't seem like the Americans and the Israelis are planning for something like that. President Trump has never wanted anything like that. And it seems that the shorter this is, the more support it has among the Iranian public.
I think those are some of the issues which of course, will become clear with the passage of some time. But we're completely out of time in this broadcast. Thank you very much indeed to Susan Tehrani, my colleague who joined from New York, and also to Mr. Andrew Calmel, who joined us from the United States. We'll slip into a short break. More updates will continue on the other side. Stay tuned to WION.